What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Sport Exposure Podcast. As you guys know, we are here to expose sports stories for student athletes past, present, and future. However, today we'll be adding a little twist to things. Today we have the legendary Jadakiss here.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? How you feel?
Just happy to be here.
It's Gemini season. We celebrate you. What's up?
Just regular day. Happy to be here. Love talking about sports. And I love VA. So,
VA is nothing but love.
no doubt. Virginia's for lovers.
You know it. So the question I always ask our guests is, first and foremost, sport exposure is all about celebrating triumphs and learning from defeats. So when you hear that motto, what comes to mind when you think about your story in your life?
We gonna make it. That's one of my biggest songs, and that's just a mantra for life, for sports. I think it's a timeless slogan for Black and Latinos and everybody. You know what I mean? If it's something you want to do and it's a little bit difficult on your journey, just think of we gonna make it, and you gonna make it, and keep going at it.
I'm glad you said that because that's a song that actually got me through one of my toughest times in life.
Appreciate
Grad school, I literally used to sing to myself, we gon'
No
make
doubt,
it.
baby.
We gon' make
See?
it.
See?
So first and foremost, let's talk about sports and how sports has influenced your life.
For one, sports was my first love. Growing up with just my mom in the beginning, she put me in baseball, football, basketball, just all type of things, and I didn't really understand it till I got a little older. But being a part of them, Little League and Pop Warner, it helped me with my socializing skills. It helped me just to be a better person.
So how did that structure early on influence your rap career?
I think music and sports go hand in hand. If you notice, they listening to music during the workouts. The players, the athletes, no matter what sport it is, they always got their headphones on while they getting stretched or when they come out for shoot around. And the same as artists. My studio sessions, I always got the TV on ESPN or TNT or NBA TV or NFL Network or whatever it is. If the Yankees is in the playoffs or the Rangers or the Islanders, I think it's just something that's needed, like men and women. I think sports and hip hop and music, you need the two for access and influence and motivation.
For sure. And as a child playing sports, multiple sports, it sets the structure for a lot of other areas in life that we don't necessarily
You learn how to do. You believe it or not, but from playing sports, you can learn how to structure yourself for business. You get a lot of skills that you don't think that playing a sport is enhancing you for in the future. Listening skills, group activities. There's a whole bunch of resources you get from playing sports and being involved in sports as a younger kid. And then when you grow older, it helps you for other things in life.
Did you have a favorite sport when you were playing?
I started off with football, then it became basketball.
Why you didn't keep it going?
I was a quarterback in Pop Warner, and then when I got to high school, I went to one of the workouts, and the dudes were already like NFL-sized dudes. So I'm like, nah,
this ain't gonna work.
Play basketball, yeah.
So how has sports played a pivotal role for you even after playing, even to now? Because I know you're a big sports fan.
I have a better relationship with a lot of athletes more than a lot of artists. I don't know what it is or why is that for, but just my love and passion for the sport. I'm always watching sports. Maybe if I was taller and faster, I would have never been Jadakiss. You might have known me as Jason Phillips, the point guard for, somewhere.
So we talked about being home in Virginia, right? And you're in the hometown of our hometown here, legendary Allen Iverson.
No doubt.
And you guys had a very historic commercial together. Talk about what that commercial did for both hip hop and sports.
I think that commercial that I did with Chuck was the opening, and it planted the seed for all of the things that came after it. The G Unit sneaker, S. Carter's, all of them things. I think that first spot and first ad, whatever you want to call it, it worked wonders for the merging of, marketing and hip hop, just to show how powerful it was. And for me, the first commercial with AI for Reebok, I think that was a timeless thing that, people will always go back to as sports and hip hop evolve and get bigger. You will see that was the seed that was planted for it to get where it's at.
Do you have a favorite team or favorite player?
No, I have a lot of relationship with athletes, like I said, and when it gets down to, the Eastern and Western Conference finals, then maybe I might go for whoever I'm cooler with on the teams at the time. But for the most part, I just go for New York sports. I like the Knicks and the Yankees and the Giants and the Jets and Mets to win everything if they could, and Islanders and Rangers. But if they can't, then it becomes who I have the relationships with on the teams that's left, and I judge or pick like that.
For sure, for sure. And with right now, student athletes is a business, as we all know. It's a really big
NIL,
business.
about time they let the students, get some compensation for the traffic and
The wear and tear on our body.
and the wear and tear of our bodies and what we bring into these universities. Of course, education is a priceless tool that can help you throughout life. But if you're making all these billions off these kids, let them get some type of reparation.
And you mentioned the importance of education.
Definitely.
Please express the importance of that.
I mean, sometimes people get it misconstrued and they overpower the power of the dollar, which is something we all want to help our families get out of our situations, unless you are, an heiress to a financial last name. But if not, it's not the case. These kids need to know that the education is just as much as important as the dollar bill is. And I think they should get paid. They should get compensated for what they bring to the universities, but let's not get education misconstrued also. Let's not let the power of the dollar bill overpower that, these education that these kids need.
And today, in this day and age, we see a lot of student athletes pursuing other careers such as hip hop and rapping on top of their student athlete life. What would you have to say about that? What advice would you give the student athlete?
You have to be mindful of the content that you're putting out, but music is in a lot of people's heart. And just because you have a favorite sport or you're good at something doesn't mean you should try to chase your dreams at something else you love. So I love that they're letting these athletes, do music and be producers and do stuff like that, as long as it's, tasteful for the masses. Because you're a brand, you're a walking brand. So when you're doing that thing, you have to be mindful of kids, women, and just the content of the texture of the music you put out so it doesn't affect your brand.
Absolutely. And when talking about branding, how has sports formulated your brand or structured your brand?
I mean, sports helped me in a tremendous way, from doing the commercials with AI, from just attending sports events and games, and my relationships with athletes. People see that I'm very passionate about the sport and about sports in general, and I'm very knowledgeable, and I just love talking about sports. So it helps me in that way. I get chosen to do some things that you wouldn't think an artist of my caliber of gangster rap or whatever, they put me in a box as, when they see me with these certain artists and doing these certain things, then it opens up Pandora's box for the masses to see that I'm a sports lover.
Right, and you're inspiring by myself and other student athletes and coaches as well. And with that being said, if you were talking to the current student athlete today, with everything going on in the world, you know how easily influenced these new generations are. What specific advice would you give to them?
I would give them, chase your dream. Work hard, be a gym rat. Also try to learn the business. try to put your earmuffs on and don't let people get in your ear, and keep good people around you. Do a lot of praying, listen to your parents, and just don't let the smoke and mirrors get too foggy and deter, your future path and your journey. Have fun along the way, but you got to work hard to get what you're looking for.
In any level, any length.
Any level of anything you want to do in life.
And as I spoke earlier, I could talk about how your song has gotten me through a rough time.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how sports may have gotten you through a rough time at some point in your life?
Definitely sports. Whenever I'm going through a situation or in anything, when you turn on a good game or watch some sports, it can help you out. I have a story. Jay-Z, I don't know if it was the Hard Knock Life. I think it was the Hard Knock Life tour. And we was on a few dates, the Locks. And he probably had the biggest presidential suite. He probably came there on a private jet. But he sat at the bar and watched the baseball playoff game and really was passionate about it and enjoyed it. And I was there with him. It freaked me out because he watched the game. I don't think he ever went to his room maybe after the show, but then he went to the venue and killed the show. And you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, people don't know artists, and some people just love sports.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And can you talk about a specific low moment in your life that sports helped you through, if any?
I don't really have a specific moment, but I took my son to the last time the Yankees were in the World Series. I took him to Game 2. And I think he remembers that forever. I think he might have been a young teenager. He's now 27. But when I hear him talk about things that he's done in his life, going to the World Series is one of his highlights. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
That's very rewarding, Dad. It's a moment he'll never forget.
No doubt.
So when we talk about past, present, and future athletes, would you say that there's an athlete out there that embodies your energy?
Carmelo, me and Carmelo are very similar. He's a Gemini. His birthday's, I think, 2 or 3 days after mine. And just what he's done for the basketball culture and the world. And he's sort of underrated and underappreciated. But at the same time, people know he's a killer and what he does on that court. And I think we just share a lot of similarities. For one, he went to Syracuse, which was my bucket list university to attend. I used to just think I was going to get a letter and be a walk-on in Syracuse and have this magical career that never happened. But, watching Melo go there for 1 year and win the chip and then, have his luxurious career in the NBA is, I think we share a lot of similarities.
And speaking of athletes making changes in the world outside of their sport, how would you say that sports and hip-hop can collab to influence communities?
Sports and hip-hop can collab to influence communities tremendously, but what I think sometimes happens is people use the artists and the athletes as the platform to do things that they should willingly do or do organically instead of being forced to put certain messages out there, or, it should be the politicians and the other people that's what they do that and let it be organic and let it be passionate and let it be genuine. But I don't think artists and athletes should be blamed for their popularity to put certain things out there in the world. If it's on the individual, it's on how you feel about certain topics and, certain current events. But I don't think there should be no pressure there because your job is to entertain or your job is to play a certain sport. And when you get the opportunity or you're in front of that microphone, if you feel like mentioning it, cool. But a lot of times the finger gets pointed at athletes and artists to be politicians, and that ain't their job.
Exactly. And that's also, I feel like, a mental thing when it comes with the platform from being a student athlete or being an athlete of any kind. You feel forced to do things because you are an athlete. And sometimes people don't necessarily know how to take that route or know how to give back or how to get that energy.
Platform could be a double-edged sword sometimes. You know what I mean? Because, of course, once you get to a certain status, you're supposed to do your due diligence, but it shouldn't be a mandated thing, I feel. And I feel that a lot of artists and a lot of athletes get a lot of flack just because of who they are, you know. And we gotta be mindful and considerate that they're human beings like everybody else.
Yes, and I'm glad you went to that point because that's kind of what the podcast is about. It's exposing the fact that we are humans first before anything. And with that being said, I want to touch on the mental health topic with student athletes. And like once again, going back to a lot of athletes use music to cope.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on these kids. Everybody's telling them they're gonna make it to the highest level of the sport that they're in, and sometimes you dealing with family issues, you're dealing with social issues, you're dealing with girlfriends, boyfriends, you're dealing with ailments, you're dealing with grades. There's a lot of things that people don't think these kids are facing, and there's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? So a lot of times you need somebody to talk to. It's not just about going to the gym, even though it is, or going to the studio or perfecting your craft to the most of your ability. But sometimes you need some other outlets to help you get to where you need to go besides physically doing what it is you love to do. Sometimes a good conversation or a good trip or a good getaway, a hike, anything can help you, resurface and get back to where you need to be.
Are some of those things that would help you in your mental health journey?
Definitely. I think, having a balanced diet, somewhat looking out for your health, working out.
I see on your Instagram, you still be getting to it.
Yeah, I try to work out and, I just want to live for the most part. I have younger kids, but it helps me with everything. My craft, my day-to-day living, being a father, just being a good person. When you work out, it opens it activates some of your endorphins that probably wouldn't be activated if you was just dormant.
And specifically coming from our community, it's hard to try to find another outlet because they push sports on us. They push rap on us. They push because we only know what we know. And sometimes it takes for people like you that have a platform to show them like, yo, it's okay to go hiking.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk to a therapist.
Movement is medicine. We come from a community where people feel slighted if you tell them you need help or you need to talk to somebody or you're looking for an outlet to help you get through something. A lot of people get embarrassed or get in the shell or, just our people, Black and Latino for the most part. And, it's not a problem to ask for help or ask a question you don't understand, and it will help you in the long run instead of keeping things bottled in or trying to deal with things in a covered up manner. Let it out, express yourself. Even with the kids today, like punishment is making them stay in the house. Where my punishment was making me stay in the house when I wanted to just go. I didn't need an iPad or iPhone or PS5 or any of that. I just wanted to go outside where the new kids, you got to turn the router off and disconnect their devices. That's the real punishment.
Yeah.
Punishment to the new modern day kid is telling them to go outside.
We stayed outside.
And just go play jacks or go get a ball, and you know what I mean. So we gotta keep the balance in the world and make it to thrive and flourish.
You mentioned briefly a balanced diet. Please talk about the importance of that. In your life and as well as student athletes.
Putting things in your body is gonna help you in the long run. If you put life in your body, if you put dead things in your body, your body's the biggest muscle, the biggest tool that you need, your brain and your body to help you. If you're not healthy, you won't be able to spend money. You won't be able to play to the best of your ability. So, of course, everybody's not just going to OD on kale or whatever it is, but if you can find a balance, if you could do some juicing, movement is medicine. If you could do some movement, take some supplements that's good for you. we all have family members with high blood pressure, diabetes, things of that nature. So if we could just stop it one at a time, it'll help us all as a whole. And especially student athletes, you're trying to go to that maximum level. So you need that energy, you need that cardio. You don't want to feel sluggish. You don't want to be doing, you know, you don't want to be lackadaisical out there on the court or the field or the rink. So you need some, you got to put some energy in your body and just try to maintain that balance.
And you have juice bars of your own.
Yeah, we have 6 or 7 of them now up in the northeastern area. We looking to expand. My brother Styles and his wife, they have Pharmacy for Life with all the supplements, that help the average human being. And you just try to take it one day at a time.
What influenced that?
I think being on the road, going on tours, exerting a lot of energy, then coming back we started learning about fruits and berries and things of that nature. And then Styles opened the first one, and then I got on the team and just keeping it going.
I know when I made the switch to putting more of the better things in my body, I could feel the immediate difference.
Yeah, you feel it. You feel better. It helps your day. It helps you whatever you're doing. And then once it becomes a lifestyle, you're out of it.
Was it a hard transition for you? Because, sometimes it's hard.
Everything is hard. Nothing's going to be easy. You can't just go cold turkey, and you got to make a smooth transition to whatever you're doing. Nobody can just go from a regular daily meat eater to just stop eating dairy and stop eating meat. So you want to go slow and wean yourself off, and of course you're gonna have relapses, but if you take your time and put your mind to it, you'll be good.
And feeding the body, feeding the brain, being mindful of what we consume is a part of preparation for the game.
Yeah.
And it could be part of preparation for a tour for you as well, because you mentioned being tired.
Definitely.
And I feel like being a student athlete and being an artist goes hand in hand.
You got to be prepared. You got to stack your P's. You going on tour, of course, you want to be physically fit. You want to be able to have breath control. You want to be able to last and keep your endurance. You might have after parties after the show. You might have meet and greets, and you want to have that same energy and same, you want to keep your chi up. So what you put in your body will affect how you carry yourself. So, of course, like I said, nobody's going to do everything perfectly. Some people will. It's rare. But if you can just maintain some balance, you'll be good.
And speak about perfecting your craft.
Perfecting your craft is something that can never stop. Of course, everybody want to be the best. The way to be the best is repetitiveness. Go to the studio, read books, watch movies, listen. Be an avid listener. Don't put yourself in a bubble. Some of the new music, you might hate it. You still have to absorb it and see what's out there. And, listen to the young kids, and it's a gumbo of things you need to do to keep legs, but it comes with the territory.
And what I'm hearing, you're a very balanced man outside of your art.
I try to be.
And talk about the importance of that for anybody, honestly, truly, because being a student athlete, we invest so much time in the ball.
You're human at the end of the day. Sometimes you want to put the ball down. You want to go to the movies. You want to hang with your friends. You want to party. You might want to dance. You might want to, get away from working out. And you don't get away from it too much. But if you need a little break, take a break. Then come back and attack it with that. Is an ambition that you should have. Rest is good. Muscle memory is good, but don't overwork the body because it'll break down on you if you overwork it.
So who is Jada outside of the artist that we all know?
Jada outside of the artist is a regular cool dude, a father, somebody that's working on himself.
What keeps you going personally?
My kids keep me going. My mom, my dad, the elders in my family and the young ones in my family, they keep me that balance.
And how would you say that your upbringing has influenced your life?
My upbringing influenced my life totally. Came from a 2-parent home for the most part, but we was okay. He was taught to work, fend, and you eat what you kill. You know what I mean? But nothing's gonna fall out of the sky. You gotta work for whatever you want. You gotta be smart. You gotta be able to read. You gotta be able to count. You gotta be able to comprehend. You gotta be able to, respect people and expect respect back, and just understand your surroundings out here in this habitat.
And you've been around for a while, the game, the art, the industry. What can you say have you seen evolve most when it comes to sports and hip hop? And it's constantly evolving these days.
Technology, the sound, the sport, the speed of the sport, of all sports, basketball, football, hockey, baseball, tennis, golf, just the collaboration of marketing, how they incorporate the hip hop culture with everything, and just being mindful of it. If you don't understand what you're doing, you can get caught in the Dulo twist, and they can just use you for what they need you for. And you got to make sure you're able to capitalize as much as these big Fortune 500 companies and brands, and these things, they need your likeness and your name and likeness, and they eat you up and chew you up and spit you out. So contracts are very tricky. Business is very tricky. People are very fickle. People are not genuine and sincere. So it's on the individual to know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure it's beneficial for you and your family, and pray.
Number one. That's number one. And you just said a mouthful about the resources that we have now. It's a blessing and a curse, because if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, you can easily fall out the loop, especially with name, image, likeness, because that's the big thing right now with student athletes. Mm-hmm. How would you recommend a student athlete really get educated on what they're doing?
You need good people around you, good advisors, good agents, good families, a good attorney, good teachers, good pastors, good everybody. Just, all advice that you can get that's going to help you. Because now with this whole NIL thing, like I said, the power of the dollar bill is overpowering. It could get where you don't care about the education and you're just thinking about the money. And sometimes that can happen because of your situation. But if you get that education, if you're able to get some nice money and a good education, work on your craft, and hopefully make it to that next level, it'll help your family, it'll help your situation, it will help you. And like I said, as much as you want to be a gym rat, open some books and learn what you're about to dive into, so for the future you'll be good.
And are there any sport storylines that you're following closely right now?
The WNBA is really popping right now. Just the comparisons with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and how the WNBA is evolving. And sometimes you see hate and this and that, but I think it's all that publicity and all that traffic is just bursting the WNBA to, the eyes is on it. More people, more viewers. This year they finally got the chartered flights, which was overdue and well deserved. And I just think it's going to keep growing. I think it's going to get right under the NBA.
Right. You don't think we can?
I would wish for equality and parallelness, but I think it's going to take a little longer than expected. It should be that right now. But is politics, is business, so they're gonna do it slowly.
But it also takes people like you to support us, and I'm gonna say us because I was a former basketball myself.
It takes a nation to raise a village.
Yes. So what can you encourage other people of statuses like yourself and platforms as far as supporting the WNBA and women's sports? Period.
Get out there, go to the games, watch the games, buy the merch, buy the sneakers. Tune in to the interviews, tune in to the things they're doing, and then the masses will get along and it will grow.
Do you have a favorite WNBA player?
Favorite WNBA player? I have a favorite WNBA team, the New York Liberty. I do love, Angel Reese. I do love Caitlin Clark. I do love Boston. She's also on Aaliyah Boston. I love the WNBA. I want to see keep going.
Do you follow NCAA as well?
I definitely love the NCAA. That got me on the WNBA.
Tell me.
But Juju,
USC
is going to be powerful this year.
She's doing the unthinkable as a freshman.
She's incredible. A lot of females are so incredible right now in basketball. Is just going to do work miracles for the game, and I just can't wait to see what's yet in store.
And with so much light being on the women's basketball game right now, it could be once again a blessing and a curse. What we see with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese right now.
I mean, with everything when you shift the culture, of course, there's going to be some hate, and it's going to be valleys and peaks, and that comes with the territory. But as long as they're talking and they're watching and listening and clicking, you pop it.
I think they're doing a hell of a job staying true to who they are with the platform as women at that. Because that is also
which is hard.
Very hard.
Harder.
Very hard. And if you were talking to a group of women student athletes coming up right now, because I think now is the ultimate time to be a woman athlete of any sport.
Don't let the naysayers intertwine in what you're trying to do. Even though that may be hard and easier said than done, but, the world loves you. More people love you than hate you. And with that being said, just keep doing your damn thing, ladies.
For sure. Are your kids into sports?
Yes. My daughter likes basketball. My youngest daughter, she likes it a little. My sons like it. My whole family loves sports for the most part. And they're in tune with the WNBA and the NBA. To see my little sons know about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in them is awesome for me.
It is. It is. We've come a long way, and we still have a long way to go, like you said.
Yeah.
How do you see the WNBA possibly collabing with hip hop artists in the future?
I definitely see some commercials coming. I could see Nicki with Angel or Sexy Red or Ice Spice Lotto. Yeah, it's gonna be. Some of these signature shoe deals that come out is going to have some nice marketing campaigns around them that's going to involve the hip-hop culture. You can guarantee that for a fact, Jack.
For sure. And just being a sports consumer yourself, what is one thing that you say is very detrimental right now to student athletes? Because there's a lot out there.
One thing that's very detrimental to student athletes right now is time. The way you use your time. You have so many people in your ear, family members, coaches, teachers, trainers, things of that nature. You got to make sure you don't get in the time warp where you're not using your time wisely to study, to be a student athlete, to be a regular athlete, to be a human being.
Yeah.
Push away from that. You know what I mean? Keep your faith in the higher power and just find the balance of all of that time and use it wisely to help yourself.
Okay. Noted. I'm taking all that in myself. When it comes to community give back in sports and what you do.
I think community give back is important no matter what it is you're involved with. Sports, music. When you go back to where you're from and give back anything, it shows hope. It shows the people there that they can make it. It gives access and influence. It makes the people it gives. It might help 1 or 2 people or 5 people to want to keep going that might have thought about giving up. When you go back and do any of them type of activities, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that because that's kind of what Sport Exposure is about, is really telling our stories to inspire the next. Because a lot of us go through things that you would never know. Because
inspiration goes further than anything.
Yes. And what would you encourage a student athlete or anybody, period, as far as inspiring? Because a lot of us were taught to not talk about those things that happen behind closed doors.
Listen, I'm keen on listening. If you get in the right demographics and do diligent listen, I think it can help anybody's situation. Because people tend to think they know everything or not want to listen to certain people for certain reasons. But if you give everybody a fair listen, the assholes and the scholars, you'll be able to take something out of it that will be able to help you.
And finally, student athletes, entrepreneurship is real big right now.
Invest. Don't let your end all be all with whatever sports or athleticism you are. Sky's not the limit, it's only the view. Be the greatest point guard, be the greatest center, power forward. Also you can be the greatest agent, the greatest real estate, the greatest, you know what I mean? Let your mind expand. Do things. You're getting this big bags of money out of nowhere. Make sure you don't,
Financial literacy, kids.
Literacy, yes.
Yes, and sometimes we don't know where to start with that.
Mm-hmm. But you're not in no rush. Save it. Put it in this. The easiest thing is to learn. Go in the bank and, put it somewhere that is going to earn interest before you just blow it on a car or jewelry or, if you can get your mom a nice house, get her out of wherever you was raised in if it's not a nice situation, and then take time and learn. There's no rush to, let your money work for you.
And that's a really big thing with student athletes, especially the amount of money that they're getting now.
Yeah, because the way it's going, you can make enough money in case you don't make it to that next level.
We still good.
Yeah. So if you do the right thing and be patient and listen and learn to invest and learn what you want to do with it, you just that 4 years or 2 years or 3 years or whatever you did at that university can help you go a long way. Help your family just as much as making it to the NBA or the NFL or the WNBA or
take advantage.
NHL and MLB. So it is a good thing in a way that there's a lot of kids that's not going to make it to that next level that are going to make it in life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's beautiful.
For sure. And finally, I asked all my guests, sport exposure moment. What is it about sports that you want to expose? With everything constantly evolving, technology, resources. If you're talking to a group of student athletes or athletes, period, at any level, what is it did you want to expose to them that could possibly stop them from going down the wrong route?
Hard work beats talent if talent don't work hard. So you can be amongst a group of individuals that you're the least talented. But if you keep working at it and repetitiveness and keep going hard and day in and day out, and blood, sweat, and tears, you could actually excel past the people that were better than you or catch up to them. So, hard work is going to always be talent if talent don't work hard. Because a lot of time talent gets the powers that be get in their ear, and then they get this aura about them, and as talented as they are, they stop working hard as some of the people that aren't as talented, and they watch them go right by them. It happens every day in every field in the world.
As I say, all areas of life.
All areas of life.
Well, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
The conversation was so relaxing. It was so beautiful. Sports exposure. I love y'all. Whenever I'm back in the area, I'll definitely be back.
Please.
I've done a lot of podcasts, a lot of shows. This was awesome. This was like super dope.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Questions, yeah. You know what I mean? Besides this AC, is that I got a lot of BTUs in the AC. But, I loved it.
So I created a safe space for you?
Space was awesome. The studio was excellent. Everything was beautiful. Sports exposure. Your boy Jadakiss. I'm going to get a hoodie or some long sleeves. And I'm out of here, baby.
Appreciate you.